alive with me as I fold clothes before I get ready for bed. Oh my gosh, let me bring you guys in a little closer. Hello, hello, hello. Ah, how's everybody doing? Okay, let's see. Ah, I look a hot mess. That's all right. It's all right. I'm gonna get myself together here. Okay. I got my clothes here. I thought, you know what? Let me just see how you got. Oh, wait. Can we hear? I wonder if we're. Hopefully, we can hear. Hopefully, this is on. I hope that we can hear. I'll wait till somebody comes on. Hi, friends. Hello, hello, hello. Let me turn this. This is a free for all chat, as always. Just want to see how you guys are doing. See how y'all are doing. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Pretty good. So, I'll wait till somebody comes on. I'm just folding clothes, getting ready for bed, winding down the day. You know, this week has been interesting. I don't know if my mic is working. So hopefully someone will come on and let me know if my mic is working. What a crazy week, y'all. Crazy, crazy week. Not a whole lot to talk about. This is always a lot to talk about. But please, if you're on, let me know if you can hear me. I don't want to start talking unless I know you can hear me. I'm just getting ready for bed, folding my clothes, and just thought I would get on a chat, see how you guys are doing. How are you? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Please, how are you doing? I'm here to see how you guys are doing. It's been a crazy week for me. I don't know. It's like something in the air was really interesting this week. Was it a full moon or anything? Does anybody know? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? That's all I need to know before I start talking. Just doing laundry and thought I would get on with you guys and just have a chat. Can you hear me? Please let me know. Well, if you've been on my channel before, you guys know I am on a healing journey. And let me tell you, this has been one interesting week with a family member. It's been good. It's just all a part of the growth and making decisions for myself and stepping into a new season. Hi, Anwar. Good morning. I can't see that from here, what flag that is, but thanks for joining me. Can you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. I'm just doing a little laundry before I go to bed, and I want to get on the chat. I just want to get on chat, see how you guys are doing. I got news today. It's not very good news about a girl I grew up with. And I just found out that she's in a coma. She is in a coma. She had a stroke. And it's so sad to me. We grew up together. Our parents were friends. And I got a message today that she was in the hospital in a coma. That's just so sobering to me, very sobering and just so sad. But how are you guys doing today? So let's, if we could send well wishes to her, please take a moment just to send well wishes to her. Her name is Carla. And ooh, it's just, I don't know, it makes you just, I've been in a season where I know that life is full of experiences, and it's not so much about things to me anymore. I do say, universe, send me abundance, send me finances, lots of finances so that we can live and do the things that we enjoy. But life is much more than money. Money can afford for me, it would afford me to be able to do great things with my family, travel, have new experiences at new restaurants, and just, have new cultural experiences. But while I live within my means, and as I was on a walk talking to God, going, you know what? I really would love to have an abundance of finances, but my spirit was like, you know what? That's great and all, but life is about experiences. And as I find out that my friend is in a coma, this might be her final days. And when I found that out, I was in my kitchen doing dishes and just looking out at my backyard, and there's trees around in the neighbors' yards, and just enjoying. It's so beautiful out. I was doing a little yard work today, and I thought, wow, it's the simple things, you guys. Let's not get caught up on good morning. Oh, it's good morning. Let's not get caught up on so much of material things. It's great if you have them. They can bring some enjoyment to you, but enjoy the experiences of life. Find experiences that you can enjoy. Simple walks, going to a local museum, things in your city. Be like a tourist in your own city. Just appreciate and surround yourself and spend time with the people you love, not with the people that they say you're supposed to love, but I'm talking about people that you truly love. Spend time with those people. But let's see, I'm just on just a chat. Hi, Speedy Enzo. Hi, Jorge. Hello, hello. I'm so glad you're here. I'm doing laundry, and I thought I'd get on the chat. Let me ask you guys: Do you guys hang up your t-shirts? I find that I used to put t-shirts. That's my husband. Those are my husband's t-shirts. I used to find that putting t-shirts in the drawers, you get clothes, they get lost, and they get like at the bottom of the pile, and you never see them. So I started hanging everything up. Do you guys hang your t-shirts up and hang your t-shirts up? I find it's easier to see what to wear. So, how are you guys doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good in spite of my friend being in a coma. That's heartbreaking to me. And the thing is, she's taking care of her brother, who also who also had a stroke. Take care of yourselves, you guys. For one, her brother was an alcoholic, and my friend, she struggled with drugs early in her life. She so she just had a really rough life, and I don't know if that's what's catching up with her. But take care of your body. Feed your body nourishment. Feed your body the foods, not just for pleasure. That's good once in a while too, but also feed your body what it needs. Me, my body needs protein. I'm learning that, and that's what's helping me lose weight. Protein. I never knew that. Never knew that at my age, which is 60. I need more protein, and I need to do muscle strength training. You know who I do my strength training with? You guys can check them out if you like. Ooh, sorry, my basket fell. I do strength training online with a couple. They're so cute. She's 12 years old. I remember when I first checked them, I'm like, what is this girl like 12 years old with this guy? But they're called Juice and Toya. I love working out with them. They do very easy on the body workouts. They're younger than me, but I still like working out with them. These glasses make me look like an old lady, but that's okay because I am getting older. Have you ever had tree dumplings? No. What's tree dumplings? Tell me about it. I'm here just to talk with you guys. I'm here just to chat. How are you doing? What are tree dumplings? I'd like to know more about that because I just need to chat. What's on your mind? What is on your mind? Oh man, what did I have this morning? I had a thought that came to me this morning. I thought that's something I could talk about. I'm gonna go see if I can find it on my notes. How are you guys? Thanks for joining me. I'm just folding up my laundry, getting ready for bed. Um, Macampanil, Macmelbamine. What's going on in your lives? What's going on in your lives? I'm gonna go get my notes and see what it was. I woke up like at 3 in the morning and I thought, you know what? Actually, you know what? One thing that I could talk about, I find I made a post. I made a post about why I stopped going to church. I guess I could share that with you guys. I wish you can fold my laundry for me. I have too much. It's funny. I love doing laundry. Send me a laundry. I'll send you a bill and I'll be happy to do it for you. I love doing laundry. I don't know why I do. I like to fold my clothes. I make sure my clothes are hot and warm when I fold them. So even if I've washed them and they sat in the dryer for a little bit, I will let them tumble about 10 more minutes so they can be dry. I'll do dishes. Really? You'll do dishes before laundry? I like them both. I have to be in the mood. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to do dishes. And I'm like, you know what? I've been in this kitchen too long. I'm ready to get out of this kitchen. And then there's other times I love doing the dishes because I love seeing the space get clean. I'm in like this, I'm in a decluttering phase. I've been in that for years though. You said any day now. Is that right? Yeah, I enjoy laundry. I enjoy doing laundry. See, these are nice and warm and toasty. So do you hang your t-shirts up? I hang mine up. I hang my t-shirts up on my husband's t-shirts up. I used to put his in the drawer, but I find that if you put them in the drawer, they get stuck in the bottom. And some shirts you'll never see because you just never dig down far enough. So I find that it's better to hang them. And if I'm not wearing clothes, I'm like getting rid of all the clothes I don't wear. And I want to keep just the ones that I wear. I don't want to hold a ton of clothes. I just want enough. Like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs just wore the same thing all the time because it was less decision making. You just have less things to think about. So even though he wore the same thing, I think jeans and a black top, he had a bunch of them. You could do that. You can get a bunch of whatever outfit you want to wear, even if it's the same thing, like Steve Jobs jeans and a black top. Get a bunch of them or get a few of them. Get enough of them to get you through the week. So that's one less thing you have to think about. But I do hang my shirts up. It makes it much easier. So, what else is going on, you guys? What else is going on? Let me go grab something real quick. It's downstairs. Should I go downstairs? I'm gonna go down. There's not many people on here. I'm gonna go downstairs. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get my iPad so I could see what notes I had on there that I wanted to talk about. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I am back. Um, okay, let me see if I can find some of the things I wanted to talk about. Ba-ba-da-ba. Where would it be? Hmm, What is this? Let Life love you. Is this it? Oh, here we go. Okay. I woke up. This is okay. Here's what I woke up in the middle of the night. Yeah, this has been a very interesting week. I had a conversation with somebody in my family that I struggle with, and I was honest with them. I let them know exactly how I felt because they did something that hurt me, and it just came out. Everything that I've been holding in, and I felt good. Sometimes letting your truth out, especially when you've been such a people pleaser. Hi, Ozing. Hi there. And so I realized my entire life for this person, I made sure that they felt good. Everything that I did, um, I'm just folding clothes and having you guys join me as I fold clothes. But everything, my life revolved around making sure that this person and other people in my family, that they felt good, that they felt seen, that that they felt loved. And I did all of that at the expense of myself, and I pushed myself to the back corner, even though many times they would do things sometimes that would make me feel disrespected. But I felt that was my role as a sister, as a daughter, um, just to make sure that they felt good. And I ended up burning myself out. If you've been a people pleaser, you know how that is. You push yourself to the side, don't even consider yourself. You want to make sure everybody else is doing good. And so I got burnt out on that. And I finally said, because I'm giving, this person can come to me all the time and I'm always there for them, but I'm not able to go to them. You know, I just, years ago, I decided, I'm not doing this anymore. I would come to them and it just became too complicated. And I said, you know what, never mind. I'm not going to do that anymore. But I continued pouring out into them. And so the question that came to me this morning in the middle of the night, I realized that I was making sure I was pouring into their cup, into her cup to make sure this is my mother. I'll just say it was my mother, making sure she felt good, making sure that she felt loved, but I wasn't getting that back. And so I was just doing that. And even I would do that with my siblings as well. But it's gotten to a point where I said, okay, no, 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 I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore because when I had needs, my needs were pushed to the side, and I didn't even take care of myself. I wasn't even there for myself. And so I finally learned to be there for me, that I mattered, that I do matter. And if you're one of those people that pushes yourself to the side for everybody else, and you just like, I got to make sure everybody else is okay, you don't take care of you, eventually it catches up with you. Eventually it catches up with you. And you are going to have to just say, wait, yo, stop. Let me take care of me. Because when you take care of yourself, you can show up better for those that you love. Stop wasting your time. At least I had to stop wasting my time on people that treated me poorly, that I did not feel seen by or respected by. So I had to let that go. And I've done that in recent days. I've been tested, and I finally stood up for myself, and I felt good about it. And once you do that, and you do it continually, baby steps is hard at first, but if you keep taking baby steps to taking care of you and putting yourself first. And it's so funny because a lot of times you feel guilty saying that because you're not supposed to put yourself first, so they say. But the question that came to me, and I wrote this down, I was like, I've been filling the wrong cup all my life. My entire life, I've been pouring into the wrong cups. I've been pouring into the wrong cups. And so the question that came to me this morning was, are you filling the right cup? Stop and take a look at your life. Stop and take a look at what you're doing. Now, when I pour into my son's lives or into my husband's lives, those are cups that are worth filling into to me. But when I was filling into other people's cups to avoid confrontation, I was filling their cups up because of the roles that were put on me, not that I chose, but the roles I was conditioned to think I was supposed to live by. So when I got into my 50s, I realized, okay, this got to stop. I don't live at home no more. I'm acting like a child. I'm acting like I have to get permission to live my life. I needed permission to live my life, and that had to stop. So this morning I was thinking, because I finally said, you know what? I finally told this person I can't do this anymore. I can't. I can't keep pouring into you. You have not been there for me. You have not been there for me. And you still aren't there for me. And she showed that to me in a recent interaction we had. And I thought, okay, this is just it's sad. But I realized, you know what? I've been pouring into the wrong cup my entire life. Although when I was doing it, it was from the heart and it was sincere. So I'm not going to say I wasted my life pouring into other people's cups and pouring into the wrong cups. But as soon as I realized I've been pouring into the wrong cups, I was like, let me take this cup away and start pouring into my own cup, into my own cup. Best decision I've made. Oh, see, is there anything else here? No, there's nothing else. Hi, Azing. I think I said hi already. But that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And so whose cup are you filling? Whose cups are you filling? Make sure as you're filling up other people's cups, it's the right cups and it's worth your time to be filling those cups up. And make sure you're filling up the cups in yourself. I'm thirsty. Make sure you're filling your own cup. Make sure you're keeping your soul hydrated because you keep giving everybody else something to drink. You're making sure everybody has, you're pouring into everybody else's cup. And while you're pouring into everybody else's cup, your cup's getting emptier and it's getting emptier. You're pouring into everybody's cup. Next thing you know, your cup is dry. Ooh, and guess what? Even though your cup is dry, guess what? The people you've been pouring into, they want you to keep pouring into their cups. They're like, oh, yo, I know you dry, but hey, keep doing what you're doing. You're making my life better. I don't care what happens to you. I don't care that you're dehydrated. Keep pouring into my cup. And when you finally say, no, wait, I need to hydrate myself. Mm-mm. I'm making sure I'm pouring into myself, pouring into my cup. Don't dry yourself out. Don't dehydrate yourself. Dehydration is not a good thing. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Pour into your own cup. Take care of you. I'm giving you permission to take care of you. Take care of you. Mm. Hydrate your soul. Make sure you hydrate yourself. Stop pouring into everybody's lives that are not giving back to you. They're pouring back into you. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's great. You can pour into each other's lives. But if they're just taking from you and you're just pouring into their lives, stop. Or you'll know. Eventually, you're going to be dry. You will be dry. You'll be in a desert. And guess what? They ain't going to be there to pour into your water. Pour into your water, pour into you. And then that's when you learn to pour into yourself. I think we all have to go through that process and we get to that point. Mm-mm. Pour into yourself. So that was the question that came to me this morning. Are you feeling the right? Because I was like, damn, all these years, all these years, I've been filling other people's cups. And when I needed my cup filled, guess what they were saying? I ain't filling your cup. You ain't worthy. I'm not doing that for you. You're selfish. Mm-mm. And when certain people in my family told me, a certain person in my family, my sister, let me just quit. When my older sister told me I was being selfish for pouring into my own cup, I said, that's enough. Because my entire life I poured into her cup. And I finally said, I don't have to put up with people treating me like that. Eventually you get to a point where you say, you know what, I'm not taking anybody's bullshit anymore. You know what? I'm done. I'm done with the bullshit. I'm telling you, I don't care who it comes from. Eventually you get done with taking people who just bullshit you. And then they expect you to just keep on being there. Nah, nope, not me anymore. How about you? How about you? Do you get tired of people just taking advantage of you? Mm-mm. I got too many wonderful people in my life that I can pour into that deserve it. They deserve my time. Do they deserve your time? Anyway, I think I started off earlier. I had a lot of I had a lot of one of the biggest responses I've had to my conversations I've had is when I told people why I stopped going to church. I used to go to church. I'll tell you guys a little bit about that story. I grew up in a Baptist church, and when I was in my 20s, I was seeking for um, direction, guidance. And I went to this church and they were dancing all around. And I was in my early 20s and I used to party a little bit. So for me, I was like, this is great. This is fun. And so it was like in that evangelical type of church. And I got hooked. I got hooked. So I was going all the time. I became so engulfed in my Christianity. And I was going out trying to save the world. I was trying to tell everybody you need Jesus. I would go out on the streets and we would do evangelizing, I guess that's what we used to call it. And we'd pass off flyers and try to get people to go to our little church. And I did that for years and I was happy. I was very happy. I ended up living with some Christian girls and we were just like on fire for Jesus. And I still love Jesus. So, but I was um I was doing that and I was so involved in the church and it was great. I was young, I was single, and so I my sister, my twin sister, she got into drugs. Unfortunately, she got caught up into that drug scene, and it was unfortunate. It broke my heart. I was scared for her. I was afraid that she was going to end up dying, and I would see her, and she was so skinny. And it was so hard for me. But then I started telling her, you need Jesus. And, she ended up giving her life to Christ. And she still is a very strong Christian. And as I as I had children later in life, because when I was single, I was like, I gotta find me. I thought I was gonna be a pastor's wife in Africa. That was my goal, but a pastor's wife is not an easy role. So anyway, I as I started having children, I was trying to get my children in the church. I would put fear into them, like, you gotta be a Christian because I don't want you to go to hell. And then it got to a point where I couldn't find a church. I was going to church. Um, and my kids, I tried to find Sunday school for them and everything. And I was trying to find a church. And I was trying to get that feeling back when I first got saved, but I could never get that feeling back. I was trying and I was trying. And I'm rambling, y'all. I know I'm rambling. This is probably means nothing. But I was trying to get back to what they call the first love. And I could not get there. I was trying so hard to get to that excitement of when I first became a Christian in my 20s. But at this time, I had children and I was trying to get them in. I was afraid I didn't want them to go to hell. But then I started waking up every morning going in such fear, like, oh God, I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to go to hell. Please forgive me. And it was so bad. I was just in so much fear. And I got tired of doing that. And then I finally said, there was a question I asked myself. It was actually my spirit was asking me, Kathy, if there was no God, I was afraid. I'm like, wait, God, forgive me for asking, listening to this question. But if there was no God, what would you do? How would you live your life? And I thought, because I was in so much fear every morning, every night. I said, well, if there was no God, I know there's a God, but if there was no God, how would I live my life? And I thought about it and I was like, I would do the same things I'm doing now. I just wouldn't have the fear. And that made me think. I was like, oh. And so that was like the beginning of just starting to ask questions of my spiritual questions. And I was afraid. I was like, oh my God. And I remember when I first moved out on my own before I became into the evangelical world. I remember sitting in my little apartment when I first moved out. And it was the first time in my life where I felt so far from God. I thought, God, are you even there? I remember sitting next to my bed, looking out my little window by myself. Are you even there? God, can you hear me? He seemed so far away. And I was scared because that was the first time I wondered, is there a God out there? Is he really real? And then things started happening in my life. So I was like, okay, God is real. But but I started trying to force myself to go to church. I thought, God, it's just not the same. And so I would go to church, and then I would feel guilty. I would get to church at first, and my kids were like teenagers about this time. And I would get to church, and I was like, you know what? It was the same thing. And I felt like I'm just going just to go. It felt like it's becoming like a club. And I felt like I already believe. Why do I have to keep coming here? And I already believe. I don't feel like getting dressed. I don't feel like spending my day on Sunday here. I don't feel like going. But then I started thinking, but I want people to know that I love God. So I have to go so people know. But then I went to church. This was the final time. And the preacher was preaching. I felt good. I'm like, okay, here I am. The worship was good. And I felt like, okay, this feels good. And, feels good. And then all of a sudden, the preaching started. And then by the end, by the time service was over, first it's like, come as you are. God loves you. You don't have to do this and that. He just loves you as you are. But by the end of the service, they're like, but you're not giving enough of your time and you need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. And if you're not giving your money, you don't love God and you're not worthy. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not worthy? I am worthy. If Christ died on the cross for me, he felt I was worthy. And I just got tired of I'm like, you're not worthy. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And so I stopped going. I didn't stop loving God. My walk with God got even closer. And that's it. That's all I'll say because I'm getting kind of bored. I know this is boring. But then I just say my walk with Christ became even stronger because the scriptures that I grew up on, I started looking at them from my own perspective and not from the perspective with all the noise of the church. I read the book of John, which became so powerful. I would read one chapter, soak it in, and then I would read it the next day or two. I would read another chapter. And I would just took my time reading the book of John. And reading the book of John became so powerful to me outside of the church, without the church's commentary, without the preacher saying, this is what that means, or, Bible say where they say, this is what that means. I read it for myself. And Jesus was so powerful. It was so empowering. I was watching Jesus. And when the Pharisees and the religious people were saying, well, why are you healing people on the Sabbath, and why are you doing this? And Jesus was like, whatever. He was like, he wouldn't even defend some of the stuff. He's like, I'm not even going to answer that question. I was like, Jesus is a badass. He was like, I'm not going to answer that question. And so many times I would feel like, well, I have to be a good Christian, so I have to answer everything that they say and try to be like this nice person. Jesus was like, uh-uh. The Pharisees were telling him, you shouldn't be doing this. He's like, who are you to tell me that I shouldn't be doing this? And that's how I felt, started feeling in church. I'm like, how is a man, when they say that God doesn't do this, and preachers say this, well, God doesn't do this, and that's not how God works. I'm like, how is a mere man going to say what God can and cannot do? He's the creative, God is the creator of the universe. How can a man say God doesn't move like this? You don't know. You don't know. God could speak to me just like he spoke to Moses. That spirit, the same spirit that spoke to Moses, will speak to me. And so, anyway, I just, um, it was like, I can't, it started feeling like church, we started feeling like a club. Now, there's a time, this is just my experience. When I was in church, I was loving it. But then when that season was over, it's just like when you're in school and you keep doing the same thing over and over. Eventually, you got to get out of school and start living it. So I felt like it was time. Not I felt like it was time for me to get out of the church and start living it. Start living the walk with God. Start living the drinking of the living waters, and just start living with my creator, and start living, believing, and just trusting, truly trusting, not this, what they call a performative trust, like, oh, well, yes, I believe, when you say all that Christianese and say the right words. I mean, really walking like you really, really, when you truly believe. And that's what I just got to a point, was like, okay, stop, enough of the church. I already believe, there's nothing else you can say to me. I believe. And so I've been living the life instead of just learning the life. I'm living the life. So anyway, that's it. There's nobody else on here, and I'm just ranting on. Let me finish this here. That's everything. That's everything. So I'm done with my laundry. Excuse me. Thanks for hanging with me, whoever hung with me. And I don't know how much more I'll be doing these lives. They are just, I enjoy getting on. Even though nobody's on here now, I still enjoy getting on. I don't know where this is going to lead or how long I'll be doing this. Um, yeah, there's nobody on here, so I'm going to go ahead and head off. Ciao. Let life love you. Let life love you. And sending love to my friend Carla. And I hope she's going to be okay. And that's it. We'll see you guys later. Bye.